I'm Tanya Saxby, I'm the Head of Sustainability at Connected Energy. Yeah, sure. So Connected Energy was founded to find a solution for two major environmental challenges, one being reliable storage for renewable generation and the other being to find a second life for electric vehicle batteries. So the increase in EVs is great. It really presents a great opportunity for the transport sector to decarbonise and move away from fossil fuels. But lithium-ion batteries and other similar EV batteries do come at environmental cost. So really it's about getting as much useful life out of them as possible. So in their first life within a car, they'll probably last for around 10 to 15 years. And then they'll drop in range. So for most drivers, it wouldn't be suitable for what they want to do with their car. But there'll still be about 80% capacity within that battery, which is quite a big number. And that's where Connected Energy come in. So over the last 10 years, we've proven the technology to repurpose those batteries in energy storage, and we can increase the life of that battery by about 10 years. So what we're doing by doing that is reducing the amount of virgin minerals that need to be extracted to support the energy transition. And generally, battery energy storage systems support the energy transition. So our customers can capture renewable generation. So when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing, we can capture that energy and they can reuse it when the wind isn't blowing and the sun isn't shining. So what they're doing is maximising the green energy that they've made. So Connected Energy was actually born from an innovation project with Lotus just over the field. So we've always been really local. And we started at the centre around 8 years ago in a small office. I think we reached a headcount of around 7 people, then moved to a medium-sized office where we reached a headcount of 13 or 14. And then in 2021, we sprawled into the 4 workshops we have now, which is workshop space and then a mezzanine above. So really we're a perfect example of what Hethel Innovation and the engineering site was set up to do. Which is to incubate small businesses and keep those skills within the region, which is exactly what we've done. The site also has a unique opportunity in that we've been able to bring our R&D in-house, saving us costs. The employees can just go downstairs and work on a test rig. And Hethel Innovation are always really supportive of our needs. I think they really understand as a landlord that a lot of the tenants are pushing boundaries, and so probably doing things that a normal landlord wouldn't say yes to, but they're really flexible with our needs, and that really has supported our growth. So Hethel Innovation have an innovation team, and you see them around the site, and if you've got a question, you can ask them absolutely anything. So personally for Connected Energy, we've had innovation workshops, we've had agile project management workshops, but they also offer different additional services such as accessing local grant funding and things like that. So it's not just that you pay them rent and then that's it. You can also catch them for a coffee and they'll be willing to support you, and that's really key to general business growth. So we're on a really exciting trajectory. So from 3 years ago, we were a small business, and now we're really at that growth phase. And our strategy is very much focused on using the huge availability of second life EV batteries, which is on the market now, and developing larger systems to take that opportunity. So the next stage for us is to scope a new site where we can develop and test that large-scale system. And we are working with Hethel Innovation to find a site that's suitable for that. So again, as landlords, they've been really supportive of our requirements, and that site is actually going to be on a different Hethel Innovation site. So our positive relationship will hopefully continue to grow as we grow. So the great thing about our systems is the data that we can collect. So our data services team and software team can communicate to customers how their battery is being used, its impacts, and how we're optimising it to make the most of their ambitions, whether they're economic or environmental. So for example, our team can develop a control schedule, which if a customer says that they always want to focus on renewable generation, we can do that. Alternatively, they want to pull from the grid when it's less carbon intensive. We can set a control schedule for that. And similarly, we can do the same if it's economic. So for example, when the grid's more expensive, we won't be pulling energy from the grid, but when the grid is cheaper, we can use it there. So we're able to meet both of those customer ambitions. And our larger scale systems will do that on an even bigger scale. So each battery that enters the system will have a battery passport. The battery passport will be able to tell customers how much revenue's been generated from that battery, how many cycles it's run, how much carbon's been avoided by having it in the system, and they'll be able to report on that and understand the positive environmental impact that they're having. So we work really closely with electric vehicle manufacturers, and actually within the EU, the law currently is that if you've placed the EV battery onto the market, you will still retain ownership of that through to the end of life. At the moment, recycling of EV batteries is probably about £2,000 per battery. So for EV manufacturers, that's a huge chunk of cash, and it's also carbon intensive. The recycling price is expected to drop, however, we don't know when that's happening. So the opportunity that we can provide to EV manufacturers is to put their batteries in the system, get as much usable life out of that battery as they can, generate some revenue while they're doing it, and then also retain ownership of the end-of-life materials. When it does come to recycling, they can then retain the minerals and they can put it back into their manufacturing. So we're really assisting the circular economy through everything that we do.